What's up, everybody? Bill Tendo here. And before we get started, if you'd smash that like and subscribe button, that would help me out greatly. Now, we are going to talk about Quest 64, and I know what you're thinking, Bill. Why are you bringing up Quest 64 in 2023? Well, this past weekend, I attended the first ever One Upstate New Game Development Expo in Albany, New York. Now, this was a first-year convention, and it was kind of everything I expected it to be. I expected it to be small. I expected it to have limited developers showing their wares, etc. It's a first-year convention. This is to be expected. It looks like next year is going to be twice the size, which is phenomenal. But I don't want to overlook the people that I met or the games that they had, because I love indie games and I love single and two-person development on games. I think those can turn out to be some of the funnest games you can play. And with that being said, it was a shock to me to find out just how many people in the year 2023 making new games are inspired by Quest 64. So basically, I interviewed a bunch of people, and let's see what they have to say. Let's talk to Jeremy from Non-Age Games about PowerBot's Builders. So this is Jeremy from Non-Age, and he has this game he's been working on. And Jeremy, what's the name of it?
It's PowerBot's Builders.
PowerBot's Builders. Now, obviously this was inspired by Quest 64. So, was that your favorite game growing up?
Sure, yeah. I think it's the only game I ever played.
Fantastic. So next up, we're going to talk to the co-creator of Night of the Delivering Dead, a fantastic survival horror game. So your game, Night of the Delivering Dead, where did the idea come from?
So we were inspired by a lot of really retro games. As you can tell, the game has a pixelated art style. Games that were on the N64, like Quest 64.
Fantastic. Next, we're going to talk to Brian from Medkit Games. Now, Medkit Games is one of the more phenomenal things I saw at the convention. He basically helps design games that help people, whether it be physical therapy, virtual therapy, because they do have VR, they have psychological therapy. It's amazing, but let's talk to Brian for a moment. So Brian, what inspired you to create these games that help people?
A lot of things, but most influential thing for me was Quest 64. It was so influential to me. It kind of changed my life, totally flipped me over, and then I was bound to do this more meaningful things through Quest 64.
Wow,
Quest 64.
Thank you. And finally today, we're going to talk to Charles. He's from Mini Tuna Studio, and he came up with this beautiful little puzzle game called Short Fuse. So Charles, your game Short Fuse was obviously inspired by Quest 64. Would you like to tell us how?
Yeah, so one of the big things we want to do, especially with the floppy cards you can see on the screen here, is we want to harken back the old times with the long quest lines and the different ways to combine them. So we really enjoyed how the quests in Quest 64 all interweaved and came together to make this huge, big story. So that's something we're really looking to drive home with Short Fuse.
Thank you. Wow, at the end of the day, is it really a surprise that so many new games have been inspired by such a classic as Quest 64? I don't know. Probably not a big surprise. One day, guys, we're going to get Quest 65. Until then, hit that like and subscribe button. Holla at your boy.